Yo, what's up YouTube? This video is to teach you guys how to get these bad boys. These specific bad boys, made in the US vintage snaps. You see the difference? I mean, look at that shit. Because, Last Kings has them on theirs, and, I'll prove it. Those of you that are my viewers, well, damn. It's like, you guys have been, guys know that I have a real Last Kings. Original one, made in the US. Pharaoh. Okay is correct. Vintage black snaps. By the way, this hat is never for sale or trade, so shut the fuck up and don't ask me. Okay, this was just an example. Here one sec. So let's just get into it. Before, I tell you how to just get the snaps individually, people would like to know what brands should I look out for, or which specifics should I look out for to get a hat with vintage snaps. Any brand made in the US is gonna usually have vintage snaps. Now, there's some, things wrong with what I just said in a way, but also people, assume that it might. You have to check where the hat is made. If it says like made in China, made in Bangladesh, made in wherever, it will not have vintage snaps, because these snaps are these snaps are patented by the US. These certain snaps. So only the US can make them. Here's an example brand, Huff. This is a pinch panel, aka a 5-panel. Black vintage snaps. This hat is made in the US. Huff is a US brand. Now what people will go is, so any Huff snapback is gonna have vintage snaps? No. I'll tell you what I've noticed, and this is with every brand I've been to except for Last Kings. It has to be a pinch panel like this, aka a 5-panel. Supreme also has, the vintage snaps on theirs. Always a pinch panel. The same one of this, I went to my local skate shop, they had the same one as this one, just a 6-panel, and it had normal snaps like that. It did not have the vintage snaps like this, so there is a difference. Also, I've looked at some 6-panel Supreme snapbacks and they don't have vintage snaps. I guess it's just a pinch panel type thing. So hear me out. Don't just go, oh, the hat's made in the US, it's Huff, it has vintage snaps. Nope. And then you'll come crying to me and be like, oh no, you lied. And I'll be like, well, what brand? Huff. Where was it made? The US. Is it 6-panel or pinch panel? 6-panel. There's your problem. It's usually 5 panels. If you don't believe me, go look it up. It's actually true. Just look at, US brands. Just go on Huff.com. Like, I'll prove it to you right now. I'll prove my point right now. Okay. Huff hat, right? 6-panel. You think, oh, it's made in the US. It's gotta have it. Bam. Normal snaps. It is not vintage snaps. Okay? So hear me out, people. Pinch panel, 6-panel. As you guys know, Last Kings, they have a new model where they have normal snaps. Here we go. So, people want to know where they can just get the vintage snaps for dirt ass cheap. They don't want to spend $10 just for the snaps. Go to your local flea market or thrift store, and they'll have hats with vintage snaps for like $0.25 to $1 to $2, and you can just buy it and take the snaps off of it. The hat that I got the snaps off of this for, it was only $0.25. So basically I got these sick vintage snaps for $0.25. Yup, Timberwolves fan. And it's a pinch panel. Yeah, mesh. Put the vintage snaps on it. It's a Mitchell & Ness. Put the vintage snaps on. The snaps were basically only $0.25. So, yup. I also got this, here one sec. classic ass vintage Michigan Wolverines, 6-panel starter cap. It used to be fitted cap. I turned into a snapback, and gold vintage snaps. Bam. None of my hats are for sale, so please do not ask, but I'm just teaching you guys how to find vintage snaps and how to find brands or hats, certain hats or brands that have vintage snaps. Vintage snaps. Dope as hell. Then you got vintage snaps on that Mitchell & Ness Timberwolves. So, yup, that's how you do it, guys. Peace.